Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Your gun doctor here. We finally have the CX9. Long have we waited. We get debated in between, and it's there. It's obviously not the OP version that it used to be, but it still has absolutely low recoil, super fast fire rate, good effective damage range, and most importantly, it is a modern warfare gun. So it has more than one build, because Cold War guns are extremely boring. You build them in one single way and that's it. No, this gun has many builds and it's so much fun to play. You can go sniper support, short range SMG, full hipfire version, many ways you can and will have fun with this CX9, promise. There's timestamps in the description below. We tested all the attachments. We did 2 different builds. There will be more builds coming because, as I said, right now we're going to focus on sniper support and SMG build, but there will be more. There will be the full hipfire build. There will be a mini build. There will be a rebirth. There's Verdansk. So the gun has so many facets, so many things to offer. Jump in the timestamps where you would like to see. We also have the damage profile for you, so the shots to kill and the time to kill. Now, let's get on and show you what this gun can actually do from a number perspective and then how to build it recoil wise. If we're looking at the numbers, and thank you Jagoff for providing, I didn't have time to test this myself. Woke up 4 a.m. in the morning and straight up wanted to have something. We have 33 to the head, 24 to the chest and tummy. Arms and leg is 21 with 1,020 rate of fire. Effective up to 17 meters with a 17 meters plus damage fall off. That means if you hit 6 chest shots, 2 headshots, and 2 arm and leg shots, you have a 529 milliseconds time to kill. 529 is roughly here where the low TDKs are with the Uzi AE, Fennec, MP7, the Modern Warfare MP5s. So all of them are kind of around 529 is pretty good. But if we're looking at the 17 meter damage fall with 647, you're already very low. The Milano is at 625, the AK-74 is 603. You have the Max 10, 644, and open bolt delay. Bullfrog, MP5, Cold War, MP7 way lower, LC10 way lower. So you are kind of up there. So both ranges are fairly well covered. Then as a sniper support gun and as a full SMG with bonus range, that would be 10 body shots and 2 headshots. Obviously, the more headshots, you get more damage. And the good thing about the CX9 is we're saying only 2 headshots needed. But with the rate of fire of 1,000, if you're once on the head, you're not going to hit 1 headshot. You're going to hit like 3 or 4 headshots. And if we would take an abundance of headshots into the equation, that would be 4 times 33, for example, plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there would be a way to reduce this to a 9 shot to kill technically. And that would then, with a 9 shot to kill, end up at 471 milliseconds. Obviously, as I'm saying, once you hit the head, you're going to hit all head, because with a 1020 fire rate, it is quite crazy. You just beam it out. But more realistically is going to be the 262. So you're very forgiving. You can hit the arms and legs, the chest, and the head. So that actually does work for hipfire also very well. Hipfire then into a headshot variant, or just full hipfire, create a beam and completely shred a person into pieces. Now let's look at the attachments, how to build the gun, how's the recoil, what can you do with it. Now with the CX9 recoil, we have 2 things, sniper support and SMG. So one build has to be optimized on movement speed, which is base relatively good. And there's another build that we'll have to optimize then on recoil for sniper support. The good thing is the gun doesn't really have any recoil. If you're looking at this, it has no wiggle wobble in the scope, so we don't need to really work on recoil stabilization. And the gun just easily pulls up to the right, very nice and easy. So you can just really keep it on spot without even trying. That's quite nice. And on distance, you obviously have to maybe get a little bit of recoil stabilization in and maybe get the vertical a little bit down, because obviously the further off you are from something, the more dust your gun pull up. But even for this distances, and that's a normal like sniper support, even SMG distance where you have to beam someone, we're feeling extremely good and extremely well. So which attachments would help the most now? Now for max range, we have this CX38E barrel. That would give us damage range, bullet velocity, and recoil control. There, opposite to that, we also have the suppressed barrel, which gives us a bonus attachment. The range of this CX38E is bigger of the one of the S, but the range of these two are obviously the same, so that's really good. So from an effective damage range standpoint, you want to play the E barrel for heavy, but you could also think about trying the S barrel to free up an attachment slot. But with the E barrel and the monolithic, you get like the stack of extended damage range and extended damage range. You want to have the 50 round drum mag, that's for sure. As we're going for distance, it kind of seems like there was a little bit of left and right wibble wobble, so I'm going to try out the Commando foregrip to see how well that works. I don't think we need a sight because the vision is really good with the gun. Might try out the PBX7 hollow sight at some point. Interesting question here though, obviously, could we increase our movement speed and aim down sight speed with the no stock, that is the CXFR? Or are we rather just going for a tac laser on this variant / the 5 milliwatt laser, because that could also be good to have a start and hip fire to then go full ADS fire. Obviously we have the barrel that probably ruins hip fire because of the heavy barrel. So I would say right now I would like to play the stock, but let's check the recoil first out with the tac laser and then see if the stock would be an option. Now, this version still has a good movement speed. You're zooming. You're not feeling sluggish. So for an SMG, you're fast off. Not Mach 10 fast off, because obviously Mach 10 is a monster. ADS speed is instantaneous, but slower than before. And now as we're going on range, there is... when you don't... I just love the CX9. You don't really have to try, right? I mean, there's like Jamothi running on this distance. Ah, Jamothi, you're dead. So it's like, it feels like a growl as an SMG with a very good time to kill. I mean, you'll be able to hit your headshots with this easy. So you most certainly have a very, very hard recoil control version. Could even think about putting probably the grip off. I mean, you see the curve is relatively safe. Let's put the commando grip off and see if there's a chance to actually put on the no stock. With the no stock, you do notice your movement speed is higher. That's for sure. There is no question about that. Like you're zooming by far faster, especially if you put the commando off, you anyways move faster already. That's a good thing. Now off to the recoil. How does that feel in comparison? Yeah, there is a big difference in having the stock or the no stock. I mean, the gun still shoots straight, as we can see here. You do have some left and right wibble wobble, but you kind of lose the cool I have no recoil. So as you can see, the gun gets way more unruly. So I would argue that over time you'd probably get used to this and you'd probably be good with that. But the real laser feeling and the real smoothness of the gun just came with the Commando foregrip, and definitely not with no stock. So we changed that back to the underbarrel. Now, obviously, this would be definitely the build for maximum range and maximum damage. But obviously, now we changed that back. But what if we take the tac laser off and take the no stock instead? So we keep the Commando foregrip to make the gun feel smooth. But now we also have then the Commando. If you really want to play the no stock here, this is just the more recoil you get now in comparison with the Commando and the no stock, and the whole gun just feels more like a laser again. I would argue still that without the no stock it feels better, but from a movement speed standpoint, you definitely have one up here to the base version. So I do like it. I would say sniper support, it already has enough movement, so probably tac laser instead of that feels better. But now let's also try the suppressed barrel, how well that is in comparison. So to put the no stock off, we're going to stay with the tac laser. Then we're going to take the monolithic off, and we're going to put on the suppressed barrel to straight up have that up and running. And the good thing is now we have one attachment left, which is really cool. So we could go for the tac grip for aim down sight speed or sprint to fire speed, or we could just go for the aim down sight and aim walk movement speed with the FA stock to just have a little bit more strafe speed going on. I would argue probably that the sprint to fire and aim down sight might be more worth it than that to just make it a more agile rifle. You could also play the sleight of hand perk to just really have an atrocious, insane reload time. Now with the base suppressed barrels, same range. And yes, it feels super low. So from a recoil standpoint, you do have the same recoil control as you have with the normal, with the heavy duty barrel, and it does feel like a good laser to shoot. So the biggest difference, or the only difference you pretty much have, is, well, you have a way better ADS time now, but you also have lower effective damage range. So this HE build is probably going to be the high effective damage range build. I would argue that this barrel might be good even for the full SMG build, just because it frees the slot. Obviously, there's the option to play the barrel that gives you aim down sight speed, movement speed, recoil control. But the reality is, why would I do that? Like, sure, you could play with the full hipfire version with damage range and bullet velocity. But with the S version, it feels quite nice that we could then say, okay, sure, we have the S version. We're already suppressed, so a lot of people like to be suppressed. We could take the Commando off 100% if we're playing this full SMG. And then I would say we could actually put the FR on for the no stock, plus potentially here a 5 milliwatt laser instead, to be able to then super zoom as a full SMG. And if you do feel like you need sleight of hand in the long run, put off the tac grip and put on sleight of hand. Now the hipfire do be looking good, but as we said in the damage profile before, there's actually no reason to really go for the hipfire, because you don't really want to hipfire. but it's really nice how far left and right clustered this is. Even if you go for the further, the hipfire already at base is quite decent. And if you're standing very close to someone, you just spray dizzle him down. But reality again is you don't really want to hipfire that because you need those headshots. Now, as a full SMG though, like this is kind of like a distance we're going to shoot you at, and it feels very good even with the no stock. I would have no problems shooting that, no problems keeping this on target. This is quite decent, and you do have a movement speed, so you're instantly suppressed. You have still a good effective damage range. You can not run out of range. Obviously, you could improve this movement-wise even more, so we could potentially make this even faster ADS, but I feel like the ADS is quite instantaneous. You see that it's following also like the OTS-9, which I don't feel like is that much of a problem on this gun than it was on the OTS-9, because on the OTS-9, it literally vanishes. On this, it doesn't matter how I move. I can still see the needle, so I can work with that. If you do have a problem with the iron sight, obviously put on a scope, but I have yet to encounter something where I'm like, man, the iron sight is not it. I can't work with that at all. This would be the SMG build right now. I do believe you can min-max with this even more, so we will definitely try out the CX-23 as soon as we figured out how low is actually the damage range reduction, how high is it, how much bullet velocity do you lose. Might be the sound suppressed S barrel actually be better, because you also do have the chance to put on the sound suppressed S barrel instead of putting the sound suppressed 38 S barrel. But I feel like even if it's an SMG, since it already has a great effective damage range, why would you not work on increasing that even more? The S barrel obviously having the advantage of not being movement speed minus, but if you play the S barrel, I would probably put on the Commando foregrip, especially if you play with no stock. So that's kind of like where like this S barrel more to make it more reliable and also give it a good range up, because if you're looking for an extreme close SMG, there's the OTS-9. This is not meant to be the super close SMG, the only 10-meter range SMG. No, this is more meant to be than the range SMG like the LC-10 was. If you do feel like you lack reload speed, tack grip off, sleight of hand on. If the recoil is a problem, FR stock could be swapped for the FA stock to also then not have the bonus of recoil increase. And then for the sniper support version, it was really good with the heavy duty barrel and the monolithic suppressor on maximum range. But you could also here realistically consider trying then the S barrel just to free up the slot. I mean, this has felt like an absolute stable beamer machine that really does not move at all. Just more or less like an AR, but in an SMG with a good ADS time and everything. But again, I can say that this also felt really nice. You could play it with the S barrel, and then you can also play the tack grip to make it an even better ADS time. So here's like a choose your poison. I really have to figure out the differences. If it's like 5% different, it's not worth it to play the E barrel, because the recoil was the same. So from a recoil standpoint, you're the same. From an ADS standpoint, the S felt even a little bit better. But we'll have to literally see how much is the ADS minus from this, how much is the ADS minus from that. So that will be coming over time as we figure these things out. But these would be the first two builds for you to try. I think the S-Barrel build is probably going to be for most, so they don't lose close quarter combat against Modern Warfare, against Cold War SMGs. Ladies and gentlemen, what is your impression of the CX-9 so far? Are you enjoying it? Have you tried it out? Do you think it's cool? Obviously, this is content. As I said, there's a lack of content, and then they randomly throw out a weapon. So conveniently, after I call them out for, not having enough content, we get the CX-9. It feels extremely random, though. Like, few days before the season ends, we get a new weapon. Why? Like, why? I mean, you had it lying around, you had a balance, you had it like there, you were just waiting to throw it out. Why now? Could have put that out with a mid-season update and everyone would be happy. Now randomly a weapon? I mean, like, by all means, I guess it would be better if we have 4 weapon releases on season start, 1 weapon, 15 days, 1 weapon, 15 days, 1 weapon, 15, like, you know what I mean? So it's great to get 4 weapons straight away, but the reality is you could also stretch that over the season. Like, just if the season is 90 days long and you have 4 weapons, just release weapons every 15 days. And we're good to go. We would be happy about that. Release 15 days later, 15, you know, and then you might be a little bit better than what do you do right now. But hey, who am I? I'm a champion. Get that we talked about this. So what do you think? Drop your builds in the description below what works for you, because I'll definitely be doing a lot of trials with this, and the next gameplay videos will be only 6-9, 6-9, 6-9, 6-9, 6-9, because now I'm excited. And you'll definitely see Verdansk and Reverse. So both game modes are going to be coming back, because this wants to be tested, and then there will be different builds, obviously, for both maps coming. Thank you for watching so much. Thanks for still being with me during the Warzone time. Don't worry, there will be bonus content. I have Pokemon Unite videos planned for the new Pokemon MOBA. There is also New World coming, and there will be Battlefield content on your back, plus other BR games, maybe some PUBG Mobile, Bloodhunt, and so on. Don't forget to subscribe or stay subscribed if you like what we're planning to do here. Have a wonderful, fantastic, good day, and see you in the next video.